We got one of the big ones of the series I'm doing on this channel, guys. It's your boy Hokage Puya ranking the best players I've seen in every position so far in my life as a young and bright and ugly and hopeless and futureless 23-year-old man with no life experience and no life prospects. I'm going to be talking to you guys about the best wingers I've seen in my life. I'm calling it 21st century, like I've been saying in every other video, because it's basically the best winger slash wide players, right mids, left mids, right wing, left wing of the 21st century. I've seen most of these players. If I don't comment on a player you want to see, it probably either means I think they suck and they shouldn't be on this list and it's not worth ranking them, or I didn't watch them that much and I can't have an opinion on them, honestly. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. If you've watch the other videos, great. If you haven't, I've done goalies, center backs, fullbacks, defensive mids, attacking mids, central midfielders, and we're gonna be doing the wingers right now. This is the longest list we've done so far. This might be a long video, but I'm gonna try to not yap too much. And then finally, after this video is posted, I'm gonna do the strikers video in a couple of the 1 or 2 days. And the strikers video, I got 50 strikers lined up in a tier list. This is the second longest tier list we're gonna be doing with I think 40 players, 40 wingers here to rank. You guys, without further ado, enough yapping because I'm gonna be yapping a lot right now. Let's get into it, man. Wingers, got them all down here. Let's start, bro. Gareth Bale, easy table one. Absolutely easy table one. In my opinion, the most talented and greatest player to ever come out of the UK slash, that region of the world, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales. He's the best to ever come out of that region of the world. 100%. Has the most accomplishments. He, for international and club, has done it all. Player of the year, young player of the year, and player of the year in one season for Spurs in 2012, 2013. Do people not realize how crazy that is? For dog shits, for a bum team like Spurs, Gareth Bale won PFA Young Player of the Year and PFA Player of the Year in one season for Spurs before getting his world record move at the time, £100 million move or whatever it was, to Real Madrid. How crazy is that? Goes to Real Madrid, clutches scores in 2 finals in that scores in the La Decima final in his first season there, has an insane season. He scores a bicycle. He scored a brace in the 2018 final, a bicycle kick, the greatest goal in the Champions League final history I've ever seen. All the goals, all the clutch moments. Bale was so good at free kicks, bro, that even Cristiano and his big ass ego stepped aside and let him take over free kicks at Real Madrid for like a season or two. Or so at times during the season, Cristiano's big ass ego would say, you know what? This Gareth Bale guy is better at free kicks than me. I'm going to let him take him. That's how good this guy was, bro. Gareth Bale, if he had the mentality of Cristiano Ronaldo, bro, Gareth Bale could have been in the king conversation. But obviously, I really think the toxicity of Real Madrid made him lose his love for football. I think there's no other explanation for it. If he had the mentality of Cristiano and the willingness to push his body harder and live a lifestyle like Cristiano to play at his peak for many, many more years, I think, bro, Gareth Bale could have been in the king category. Now, usually the guys in the king category need to have like a World Cup or something, but bro, he plays for Wales. He was the leader of Wales to a semi-final of the Euros. Getting Wales to the first World Cup ever, or what was it, first World Cup in 50 years? I don't even know. Absolutely table one, bro. Table one winger, Gareth Bale. Probably my favorite British play, like from that region, probably my favorite along with like Wayne Rooney ever from that region of the world. But yeah, Gareth Bale, table one. Beckham, table two. I think because he transcended the sport, people tend to rate Beckham higher than he should be. Beckham is not a table one player. He shouldn't be at table one, and he's nowhere near in contention for king. But bro, Beckham was Beckham was the third player that was like my favorite player. My first favorite players were Schweinsteiger and Philip Lahm. My third player that I liked the most was, I think, Rooney and David Beckham. Obviously, that was around the time David Beckham came to the MLS, and I was a huge LA Galaxy fan at the time then, when, San Diego didn't have their own team, but now we do. Yeah, David Beckham just probably the best crosser the game has ever seen, the best dead ball specialist the game has ever seen. There's a reason why Real Madrid wanted him. Yes, he was a guy Real Madrid signed for the shirt sales and the popularity, but bro, I mean, he has some of the best passing ever. ever. And Beckham's role wasn't like a lot of these modern day wingers where they're inside forwards, goal scoring wingers, whatever. David Beckham was literally create first kind of guy. He was never trying to score the goals. Obviously, he would get some goals from long distance strikes, goals from free kicks, so some a goal here or there. But Beckham's main specialty was on the right mid side of the field, up and down the field, crossing, passing, assist, playmaking. I really wish if David Beckham had the ability to play at world class, he could play in central midfield. Beckham can play in central midfield, but he couldn't play at a world class level. If he had the abilities to play at a world class level in central midfield, we could have seen a seriously dangerous midfielder, one of the best ever. But he was primarily a guy that played on those wing positions, those out wide positions in midfield. And yeah, I think table 2, I think a lot of people will be saying, oh, he should be table 1. He's Beckham, one of the most popular players of all time. But exactly, popularity doesn't make you table 1 or king. Your skills do. What you did in your career does do. But obviously, yeah, he won a Champions League with Manchester United, La Liga, Premier League, blah, 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 blah. He did it all, played for some of the best clubs in Europe, Manchester United, Real Madrid, PSG, AC Milan, like all those guys. But I have to put him no higher than table 2. And honestly, David Beckham might not be top of table 2. Just being real. Carrasco, I think very underrated. I'm going to put in table 3. One of those dangerous attackers in Diego Simeone's sides in the 2010s that was good enough to compete with peak Real Madrid and peak Barcelona in the league and in the Champions League. He was one of those guys, bro. Now, obviously, Carrasco had that tough part in his career where, he found, he moved to China for the paycheck. Remember, he made the shock move to China for all that money. He got depressed. I think him and his wife split up, but he came back to Europe and he's been at Atleti since, and he kind of revived his career a little bit, but now he's much older. He's kind of at the tail end of his career, still making an impact at Atleti anytime he can. But yeah, he was he will be a forgotten player, but I won't forget him. Carrasco was a serious player in La Liga and the Champions League for Atletico Madrid, and you have to respect how how important he was to an Atletico Madrid team that was at their peak. Peak Godin, peak Saul, Koke, Griezmann. He was as important as those players and scored in the Champions League final. Remember, he scored the goal in the Champions League final in 2017 against Real Madrid when they went to penalties. He scored, so he's got a big clutch moment there. So Carrasco, man, table 3 for sure. Weirdly, though, for Carrasco, he never really broke into the Belgium team, and that's likely due to the fact that he would play on the left, and obviously during his time, Eden Hazard had that left wing position locked down for Belgium, so he never really got to shine for Belgium either, which sucks, but it is what it is. Table 3 for him. Kingsley Coman, I'm gonna put him in table 3, near the top of table 3. I just Kingsley Coman could have been table 2, and he's still in his prime. He just injuries has really hampered Kingsley Coman's career. He was getting injured so much at a certain point where he was contemplating retiring like 3 or 4 years ago, or like in 2020 he got injured and he literally wanted to retire. That's how often the guy was getting injured. But bro, accomplished so much, played for all the best teams in Europe. Started at PSG, came from the PSG academy, went to Juventus, and he's been at Bayern almost 10 years now. 10 years, and he's had big games for Bayern, big goals in the Champions League. One of the big goals he scored, the comeback against Juventus at home in the Allianz Arena in 2016, I believe it was. Obviously, he scores the winning goal in the Champions League final for Bayern in 2020. I think one of the best 1v1 wingers of his generation is Kingsley Coman. Not many people. His profile is kind of diminishing, where all he wants to do is just attack the fullbacks and beat them 1v1. And, he doesn't need to beat them with a lot of skill. Kingsley Coman isn't a Neymar. He's not doing crazy skills. But when you see the size of Kingsley Coman's legs, the acceleration and speed he has, and he has a very nice chop inside and chop outside. All he really needs to do his whole career so far, Kingsley Coman, to beat players was keep chopping inside or outside, faking body feints, and getting past players. The only thing Kingsley Coman has let himself down on is consistency in the final third. Kingsley Coman has gone long periods of time in form, playing as a world-class, a very good winger, maybe world-class at times winger. But what's let down Kingsley Coman is his consistency, not as in his overall play, but his consistency in producing output in the final third. Excuse me. Output in the final third. Some weekends, Kingsley Coman's career, perfect crossing from the left or from the right. Some weekends, Kingsley Coman is shooting up crosses to Jupiter. you know, it's just he's an on or off player when it comes to those the crossing and everything. But yeah, for a guy who until last season when Leverkusen won the league, Kingsley Coman had never lost a league title in his career. He had won one or two at PSG. The years he was at Juventus, he won the Serie A titles, and ever since he went to Bayern, he won every single Bundesliga title until last year when Leverkusen went undefeated. Kingsley Coman, I don't know if I would put him in the Bayern legend category, but he's up there as one of the better Bayern players of all time, one of our better wingers. And yeah, Kingsley Coman still has time to get the table too. Like if he could get back into the France team and play more consistently and have a big World Cup in 2026, let's wait and see. But it seems unlikely with all the young talent coming up with France. It looks like, guys who have been in the team the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, like Coman, are being displaced, but you never know. Kingsley Coman, table 3. Ousmane Dembele, I mean, he has to be like, bro, Ousmane Dembele still has time to get to table 3, but right now Ousmane Dembele, based on what he's done in his career, is absolutely a waiter. Excuse me, and he probably will be the top of the waiter because he is talented, bro. Ambidextrous. Dembele on his day could dribble past everyone. He's a problem, right? The issue with Dembele is he has been so goddamn inconsistent his whole career. Ever since his Dortmund days, when he moved to Barcelona, and even when he's been at PSG the last 2 seasons, inconsistent. Now, he has been more consistent player for PSG in Ligue 1, but the issue is Ligue 1, the McDonald's League. He doesn't get the eyes there. Honestly, I don't watch much of Ligue 1. I don't watch. Last PSG game I've watched in Ligue 1 was like the game against Monaco or something, whenever it was. I don't watch PSG games in Ligue 1. I don't. Only in the Champions League usually. And he just doesn't do it consistently, especially in the big games, bro. He just hasn't done it consistently for PSG. Now I know in the French Super Cup or whatever it was, he just scored in the final like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, whatever it was. But yeah, bro, he has the quality, bro. Ousmane Dembele has the talent to be up here in table 2. But from what he's produced in his career, he's a waiter. He's absolutely a waiter. And his biggest accomplishment is probably the league title under Xavi with Barcelona, where he actually had a significant part to play in that, where he had a good 6 months in the second half of the season that year, and was one of the main reasons why Barcelona was able to get over the line and win that title under Xavi 2 seasons ago, I think it was. But just not consistent enough. Consistent enough. Ousmane Dembele. Yeah, I have to put him in waiter, and he's still relatively young. So, bro, maybe if Ousmane Dembele can ramp it up even more, and although it seems impossible, but maybe win a Champions League with PSG, bro, Ousmane Dembele would go straight up to table 2 if he wins a Champions League with PSG. The thing is, though, it's LSG, it's PSG. It's very unlikely with such a loser club to do that. So, Ousmane Dembele, I'm gonna go waiter. Di Maria, I'm gonna go table 2. Now, if you ask me where I'd rank Di Maria in 2018, he would be bottom of table 2, maybe top of table 3. But since 2018, Di Maria has showed a maturity in his game, and most importantly, the clutch moments for Argentina. He has to go to the top of table 2. And I'm not gonna be revisionist. Di Maria is not table 1. He isn't table 1. I think a lot of people will forget that people weren't putting him in world-class winger, or such people weren't holding him in such high regard as they are now compared to the mid 2010s. Yes, he was fantastic at Real Madrid. He scored in the Champions League final, right? He almost. I think he had a great performance in the Champions League final in 2014 with Real Madrid. Obviously, everyone says that if Di Maria played the final in 2014 World Cup, things could have been different. Obviously, Real Madrid didn't want him playing that final, and that's why he fell out of the club with Real Madrid and ended up going to Manchester United. Manchester United, his time under Louis van Gaal, racism tax, whatever it was, xenophobic tax, didn't work out. Went to PSG, had some great years there. His best year at PSG was the year they made it to the Champions League final. That was his best year for PSG when him, Neymar, and Mbappe were all gelling pretty well under Thomas Tuchel and producing brilliant football, but lost the final that year, didn't get the Champions League trophy with PSG. And club wise, Di Maria has kind of underwhelmed. I understood the PSG move at the time, but I didn't think Di Maria had to stay at PSG for so long. At the time when Di Maria went to PSG, I thought he would go there for maybe like 2 or 3 seasons, and I was so sure back then when I was like high school that Di Maria will for sure go back to La Liga. So, like, bro, he could have played at Barcelona. I was so sure he would have gone to Barcelona or potentially gone back to Real Madrid one day, but it just never happened. Obviously in the Bale, Cristiano, Benzema era, there was really no space for him there. Could have gone to Barcelona. I still maintain that. Could have even gone to a Juventus or something. He could have gone to a Juventus or something, I feel like. So Di Maria, I'm not going to revise, throughout the 2010s, people weren't holding him in such high regard as they are now after scoring in the World Cup final, scoring the Copa America final, having a decent tournament for Argentina, the last Copa last summer. But I'm going to put Di Maria at the top of table 2. Dino. Now, here's the thing. I don't actually have a GOAT decided yet. I'm going to choose a king at the end of this video. So for now, no one is going to go into... Oh, wait, sorry. I already know who's going to be a king. I'm literally an idiot, guys. Dino, man, I'm going to put him top of table. I'm going to put him above Bale. Now, here's the thing about Dino. If Dino played in today's age, where the social media is so hypercritical of players, Dino would not be seen as highly. Dino would be laughed at. Dino would have horrible PR. Dino would be shit on. He would. But the thing is, Dino grew up in an era where consistency didn't matter. Big moments mattered. All that, stats and all this crap, XG and your SofaScore rating didn't matter. So good for him. Now, here's the difference between him and Bale. I think Dino's peak was probably 2 to 3 years from 2005, 2004, 2005 to 2006, 7. That was kind of Dino's peak. Obviously, that was the time where he won the Champions League with Barcelona, won the Ballon d'Or. Obviously, the issue with Dino is this. Dino had... The issue with Dino is the reason why he can't be king is because a guy that we coming up on the list exists. But the reason I think I'm going to talk about him versus Bale gave you actually more big moments, like more clutch moments than Dino. Just the thing is, bro, Dino's style of football is enjoyable, bro. I mean, I watched the tail end of Dino's career, but I'm speaking on Dino because I have watched hours of Dino footage, hours of young Dino at PSG when he first went to Barcelona, so much. And bro, it's still entertaining to me as a 23-year-old today, bro. I'm still entertained by Dino compilations as much as I was when I was 13, 14 years old. The reason why I'm going to put Dino higher than Bale, although Bale probably has more accomplishments in his career, I understand Ronaldinho has a World Cup, right? And he was playing games there, but he wasn't the main guy. You know what I mean? Bale was the main guy for Wales and got them to a Euro semi and a freaking World Cup with Wales, guys. Wales. So internationally, it's hard to compare them club level. Bale's resume is definitely a lot better, but when we're comparing the football, the enjoyment I got from watching both players, don't get me wrong, I liked Bale. I'm not saying Bale is some PNP merchant, no technique or anything. Bale had technique. Dino might just be one of the most talented, most technique, most technical, sexy football players ever. And that's why I'm going to put Dino above Bale. Just pure enjoyment of the game, bro. I have to put Dino above of Bale. But dude, I think this conversation right here, though, I will say this, is closer than people think. People will say, "Oh, of course, Dino's bigger than Bale." But if you want to be fully objective and take bias out of it, this conversation is closer than people think. That's all I'm gonna say. Douglas Costa, this is a table 3 winger. I really think in an age now where we are dealing with Brazilian wingers called Martinelli and all these other bums for Brazil, we miss guys like Douglas Costa, bro. We miss guys like Douglas Costa. Douglas Costa, I really wish I enjoyed him more when he was at Bayern back then. Bro, I took Douglas Costa so for granted, bro. Back then, I used to think of Douglas Costa as, oh, he's just second fiddle to Robin and Ribery when young Kingsley Coman was at Bayern, when he signed for Bayern from Shakhtar Donetsk. I really didn't take him. I took him for granted, and ever since he left, and I haven't seen that Brazilian style at Bayern on the wings in so long. Yes, we still had Robin and Ribery is one of the best dribblers of all time. But Douglas Costa just did it the Brazilian way, and he had many great years at Juventus, great years at Bayern, and he unfortunately was part of those Bayern teams under Pep and under Ancelotti that just could not get over the line. That just could not get over the line in the Champions League. But phenomenal winger. And yeah, like I said, in a day and age where we're dealing with guys like Martinelli and all those trash bums, bro. Brazil lacking all the quality on wing. Rodrigo and Vini Jr., who cannot perform for Brazil if their life depended on it. We miss guys like Douglas Costa. We miss the fire, the daring things he do, bro. Trivelo, like he would try everything, man. Douglas Costa, nasty. And obviously, like one of my memories is just like the way he adopted Hector Bellerin against Arsenal when we won 10-2, the way he just did that to young up and coming Hector Bellerin, bro, who was highly rated. He wasn't the bum Hector Bellerin now that we know he is. He was highly rated at that time. Highly rated in the Premier League and highly rated by Arsenal fans. Melted him. Melted him. Douglas Costa, I think the only reason I put him in table 3 is because he's part of Bayern teams and everything and Juventus teams that have won the league title. And he's like an important player he was an important player doing so. If he had a couple less trophies in his cabinet, I'd probably have to put him in the waiter category. But bro, just there's no denying the talent this guy had. Like Neymar and Douglas Costa, like I'm not saying Douglas Costa was Neymar level. Don't get me wrong, was not Neymar level. But bro, he was pretty fun to watch. Pretty fun to watch. So I'm gonna put Douglas Costa. I would actually rank him higher than Carrasco, in my opinion. Gnabry, I'm gonna put him below Carrasco. The thing with Gnabry right now is that yes, rejected Arsenal, went to Bayern. Well, no, from Arsenal he went to Hoffenheim and Werder Bremen, had 2 good seasons. Then Bayern took a chance on him. He had a rough first season at Bayern when it was Robin and Ribery's last season. But bro, that 2020, from 2020 to 2021, Serge Gnabry was one of the best wingers in the world, if not in 2020 and 2021, outside of Mbappe, and maybe if you want to put Messi in that conversation, Gnabry was up there as a top 5 winger in the world with Salah and all those guys. He was. He was one of the most important players for Hansi Flick's treble-winning Bayern team. Bro, Gnabry was on smoke those 2 years. And then he had some injury issues when Nagelsmann came to Bayern. He didn't really fit. He never really fit Nagelsmann's system to the best of his abilities. Like he didn't shine under Nagelsmann. So his career took a little bit of a dip. And from there, he's actually been kind of injury prone for Bayern. So he's never had a really long run of games for Bayern in like the last 2.5 seasons. And it's a shame because honestly, when he does get a run of games for the club, he actually does perform. Maybe not to the level of 2020, but he does score often and make impact and actually has attacking output in the games he plays when he gets a run of games before he gets injured again. He's kind of like Jota. He's Bayern's Jota. He's Bayern's Diogo Jota. Like he comes back from injury, scores goals, has an impact, then gets injured again. His hamstrings are made out of paper. But bro, just for those 2 seasons in 2020 and 2021, I have to put Gnabry in table 3. It was such a high level he was playing at. 4 goals against freaking Tottenham. Like a hat trick against or no. He scored like a hat trick or whatever it was, 3 goals against Chelsea or whatever it was, 4 goals against Spurs, clutch goal, amazing goal against Barcelona, clutch goals against Leon in the semifinal. I mean, Sergio Gnabry, I have to put him in table 3. I'm not going to put him above Carrasco, though, because Carrasco spent a longer portion of his career playing at a higher level than Gnabry. Gnabry with injuries and everything have kind of messed him up, but I'm going to put Gnabry table 3. And you guys, to be honest, I'm noticing I'm yapping too much, and I got to go a little quicker here. Eden Hazard. This might change. I'll put Eden Hazard in table 1 for now. The only thing that's making me doubt Eden Hazard at table 1 was how failed his Real Madrid move was, how disappointing his Real Madrid move was. He went to Real Madrid, got the big Real Madrid paycheck, and he showed up to his first training session. What was it? 10 kgs overweight? That's embarrassing, Eden Hazard. Bro, if Eden Hazard went to Real Madrid, because, bro, Eden Hazard was supposed to go to Real Madrid, win 1 or 2 Champions Leagues. Vinny Jr. was not supposed to be. Dude, Vinny Jr. should thank Eden Hazard's fat tummy for his career. Because, dude, Vinny Jr. was not supposed to be the player he is right now. Hazard was supposed to come in the post-Ronaldo era and play in that left-wing position and be Real Madrid's left winger for another 4 years until basically right now. Around 2024, 2025, Hazard's time should have been coming to an end at Real Madrid, and Vinny Jr. should have been barely making his impact at Real Madrid. But because this guy and his fat tummy could not stay away from the cakes and paella and sweets, Vinny Jr. was pushing the team faster, and we're seeing how great of a player Vinny Jr. has become now, and he has won 2 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. So, Eden Hazard, man, he's table 1 because he was just that elite at Chelsea. He really was just that elite at Chelsea. 2 league titles with Chelsea, even at Lille, bro, coming up at Lille. Just, if he had, like, bro, I said it about Bale, but this applies more to Eden Hazard's case. If Eden Hazard had the professionalism and desire of a Messi or Cristiano or even a Bale, bro, Eden Hazard would easily be up here competing with Dino. That's how good of a footballer Eden Hazard was. But like we all know, Eden Hazard wasn't the guy putting in extra training sessions. He wasn't strict on his diet. He was relaxed. His warm-ups were lazy, and he'd show up, and he was so good, he would just play at a world-class level. That's how good this guy was. So Eden Hazard, table 1, but he could have been higher in table 1. After we get through all these names that we put in table 1, he could have been higher. He could have been higher. But here's what it is. Eden Hazard, table 1. And, bro, I'm starting to notice table 1 might get really jam-packed. So we might need to move some guys down into table 2. We'll see. We'll see. If I feel like table 1 is too much, we might move some guys down to table 2. Insigne is table 3. I never rated Insigne that highly, but the fact that he played at Napoli for so many years. Listen, if we took Insigne's club career only, I'm putting him in waiter. But what bumps Lorenzo Insigne for me, Lorenzo Insigne for me into this bottom portion of table 3 is that Euros performance. Bringing Italy back to the international stage and winning a trophy after that dark period. Now we know Italy went right back into a dark age after the Euros by not qualifying for the World Cup. But Lorenzo Insigne was a fantastic player for Italy. He showed like the best of his capabilities at that Euros, I think, playing on that wing for Italy, bleeding his man and doing the work he had to do for Italy. Dude, honestly, now that I think about it, taking his club career, like, yes, he had a good tournament for Italy that summer, helping him win the Euros. But now that I think about it, man, he wasn't like world blazing in that tournament. So, dude, honestly, Insigne, I'm going to put him in waiter, but I'm definitely going to put him above Ousmane Dembele in waiter because he has accomplished more in his career compared to Ousmane Dembele. Like, I know Ousmane Dembele has trophy for France, but he wasn't the starter, bro. I mean, he didn't have impact into it, like, but Insigne was a starter for Italy when he won the Euro. So I'm gonna put Insigne. But when I'm looking at the talent, bro, Ousmane Dembele is just a better player, though, man, than Insigne. Like, he's so much more versatile and more dangerous as a winger, in my opinion, at his best. So honestly, I'm gonna put Dembele And see, bro, I went from table 3 to better than Dembele to honestly lower than Dembele at the bottom of waiters so far. So yeah. But don't worry, Insigne, I'm gonna put Lavezzi right behind you, so you're not at the bottom of the waiter. Lavezzi, yeah, Lavezzi was good. Like, I think Lavezzi's best years were at Napoli. You know, those early days at Napoli. I think Higuain. No, I mean that those are the days when like young Marek Hamšík were there, when what's his face? Cavani was at Napoli. Those were Lavezzi's best days. He went to PSG. He had a good career at PSG. Obviously, was part of the Argentina team that made it to the World Cup final in 2014. But outside of that, I wouldn't put Lavezzi like in. Lavezzi was never world class. Lavezzi was always good, and at times he was great, but he was never even close to being world class. But I'm just putting Lavezzi in this list because I watched a lot of Lavezzi back in the day. A lot of Lavezzi back in the day. So Lavezzi, I'm putting him in the waiter category. I'm going to put him behind Lorenzo Insigne. Rafael Leao, I'm putting him in waiter just because he needs to make that next step in his career. I understand he loves Milan. They took a chance on him and they trusted him when no one else trusted him to play for their team, to make an impact for their team. And he's been a starter at Milan now for how many years? Like 3 to 4 years. As a very young man starting for Milan. He's now like the face of that Milan team. Yeah, he's the face of AC Milan right now. It's just Leao's at this point in his career now where it's time to move on from AC Milan, because I'm sorry, AC Milan will not go back to Champions League glory. With respect to these players, but with Pulisic, Morata, and all these guys in the starting lineup and everything, it's just not good enough for AC Milan to get back to their glory days. And I think Leao maybe wants to stay there and get them back. I don't know. But I really want to see Leao make that move. Bayern needs a left winger, a confident left winger that can take his man on, score goals, and provide assists. If Bayern comes for you, go there. Barcelona need a left winger. Yes, I know Rafinha plays there and he's having a fantastic season, but Rafinha's best position isn't left wing. Rafinha can easily play 10 for Barcelona behind Lewandowski. So Barcelona need that left winger. Arsenal need a left winger. Man City need a left winger. Honestly, Liverpool need a left winger. I'm not falling for this Luis Diaz bullshit, this Gakpo bullshit. Liverpool would be upgrading with Leao. Chelsea would be upgrading with Leao. Inter would be upgrading with make that move to Inter, although AC Milan to Inter is sketchy, but make these moves. I need a move to a big boy team to win trophies where you're a starter, and then I also need Leao's performances to improve for Portugal. He's had some good performances here and there for Portugal at tournaments and in qualifying games, but I need more consistent performances for Portugal now too, Leao. So Leao definitely has the talent to Leao, I'm sure at the end of his career will be table 3, but he can get to table 2. He can, but it's up to him to make the right moves and perform in the big games to get up there. But right now, Leao, I'm going to put him in waiter behind Ousmane Dembele. Riyad Mahrez table 2. Riyad Mahrez table 2. I mean, exploding onto the scene with Leicester City, winning a league title, going to Manchester City. I honestly felt for a couple of years he was better than Salah. He was the best African player in the Premier League over Salah and Mane when they were at their peaks. Riyad Mahrez, there's a reason why he went to Manchester City and he lit it up over there. Pep loved him. Even in a system with Pep, where Pep tends to restrict his players and follow his instructions, Riyad Mahrez would still find a way to play in an exciting fashion, beating players, cutting inside on his left foot, or like literally Premier League Robin, bro. Riyad Mahrez at his peak was like Premier League Robin. Body feints, always feinting that and acting like he's going to take you down the line, cutting on the left side, curling in shots, curling in goals with his left foot. Riyad Mahrez, 100%, bro. I think, at least in my opinion, I think he's one of the greatest African players of all time, right? He has the AFCON. He has a treble with Manchester City. He has all those Premier Leagues with Manchester City. God damn it. He was probably the best player in Leicester City's Premier League winning season. Riyad Mahrez, bro, besides the World Cup, take World Cup out of it, in terms of greatest African players of all time, he might be top 5. He might be top 5. Greatest African players of all time, Riyad Mahrez, supreme talent. Loved watching him play. I think he's still in Saudi right now getting a paycheck. I'm not sure, but yeah, brilliant player to watch. Absolutely table 2 for me. Sadio Mane, next guy going to table 2. But bro, I'm putting Sadio Mane behind Riyad Mahrez. I'm doing that. I'm putting Sadio Mane behind Riyad Mahrez. I just always thought Mahrez was better than a Sadio Mane. I always thought, although there was like a couple months where Sadio Mane could have been considered the best football player in the world. I'm sorry, over Sadio Mane's entire Liverpool career and Riyad Mahrez's entire over Sadio Mane's entire Premier League career and Riyad Mahrez's entire Premier League career. I just thought Mahrez was always more impressive. I always thought he's more pleasing to watch on the eye compared to Sadio Mane. I felt like he's a more technically astute winger than Sadio Mane. And dude, to be honest, Mahrez and Mane would both score in big games quite often. So although I lean towards Mane in the big games category, although I lean towards Mane a little more than Mahrez, like 9 times out of 10, I prefer Mahrez over Sadio Mane, both at their peak. So that's why I'm putting him behind Mahrez. But yeah, Sadio Mane, bro, part of the iconic Liverpool front three under Jurgen Klopp, Salah, Firmino, Mane, Champions League winner with Liverpool, lost 2 Champions League finals with Liverpool, went to Bayern, won a league title there, won a league title with Liverpool. Obviously, in the era of Pep, with those insane Man City teams, he probably can find himself a little bit unfortunate to not have another 2 Premier League titles or whatever, but it is what it is. Now he's at Al Nassr. Regardless of what Sadio Mane does off the field, he did marry a fucking like 13-year-old. Yeah. I don't know who said that. That wasn't me. But he's at Al Nassr now chopping up with Ronaldo getting that paycheck. But yeah, Sadio Mane, I think a lot of people kind of overrate him now. And that's not to say he's, overrated doesn't mean you're not a good player, but I do think people overrate how good Sadio Mane was because I always thought Riyad Mahrez was better than him. And I don't see people giving Riyad Mahrez the prop and the praise that people do to Mane when they look back at those 2 in the Premier League. So for me, I'm putting Sadio Mane table 2, but I'm going to put him behind Mahrez. But also, Sadio Mane did win the AFCON as well, just like Mahrez did for Senegal. So that goes on his resume as well for why he's in table 2 as well. Won something for his country. So yeah, table 2 for Sadio Mane. Martinelli, 100% bum cat. Like I should actually make a bum category. Fake Brazilian. Had 1 good season for Arsenal and like another good half season for Arsenal. The furthest thing from a Brazilian I've ever seen. Borderline Italian freaking name Martinelli. Martinelli's apple juice. If you live in America, you know. Like, hasn't proven anything. He's a decent player, bro. But in terms of if Martinelli was to maximize his talent, he would only be table 3. He would only be table 3. And even if he were to maximize his talent and be in table 3, he's not better than any of these guys right here. Because all these guys didn't maximize their talent. If all these guys maximize their talents, they would be in table 2. Martinelli, if he were to maximize his talent, could sneak into table 3, but I guarantee you if he were to do that, he would be at the bottom of table 3, eating the scraps at table 3, eating the crumbs off the ground under table 3. But he's the waiter, bro. He's the busboy. He washes the dishes. Martinelli, severely overrated, largely because of Arsenal fan base and this resurgence they had, even though they haven't won a league title in 20 years. Martinelli, absolutely in the waiter category at the bottom. Kylian Mbappe. Yeah. He's not table 1. Kylian Mbappe is not table 1. If we're taking World Cup Kylian Mbappe, if we're only taking Kylian Mbappe at World Cups, he might be here. If we're only talking about World Cup Mbappe every 4 years, he might be right here. But taking everything into account, Kylian Mbappe is right here. He's table 2. Don't get me wrong. He's come up with AS Monaco, getting to a Champions League semifinal with Monaco, beating Manchester City on the way there, moved to PSG, the great years he had at PSG, getting to a Champions League final, PSG's first ever Champions League final, in 2020 with Neymar alongside him, with Di Maria under Thomas Tuchel. That's accomplishment. That's an accomplishment within itself. Although he did miss a huge chance in that game that could have given PSG a potential win in the first Champions League win, but Kylian Mbappe, taking everything into account, he is kind of failing. Kylian Mbappe should have made the move to Real Madrid earlier. He has made the move to Real Madrid, and it's kind of been iffy since he's got here so far. So Kylian Mbappe is still very young. I think he's like 26, 25, 26, whatever it is. He has a lot of time. He still has his speed and everything, but Kylian Mbappe, he better ramp it up. You better win me a couple Champions Leagues. Because that's all Kylian Mbappe needs. All Kylian Mbappe needs is to lead Real Madrid. He cannot let Vinny Jr. outshine him. He cannot let Bellingham or Rodrigo outshine him. He needs to be the star man for Real Madrid and win a Champions League with Real Madrid to be over here. Because there was a lot of years of embarrassing Champions League knockouts with PSG, with Kylian Mbappe there. A lot of years of embarrassing Champions League knockouts. Especially last year, losing to Dortmund in the semifinal. Especially last year, in a game against Dortmund, across both legs, where he was trash against Niklas Sula and the old Matsumas and all that. He couldn't make it in. Kylian Mbappe is table 2. He's not table 1 yet. In terms of his peak, he needs to reach his peak still. I do believe Kylian Mbappe is still not at his peak yet. And yes, I understand he's one of the best players in the world, one of the most popular players in the world, an icon of the sport already after what he's done at 2 World Cups. But I'm sorry, if you take everything into account, all those league titles in the McDonald's and Uber Eats league is not enough, dude. You should have made the Real Madrid move sooner. Okay, he's made it. Let's see what it does now. I'm sure at the end of Kylian Mbappe's career, he will be table 1. But for now, dude, I think a lot of people will blindly put Kylian Mbappe, oh yeah, table 1. He's up here with Hazard, Bale, and Ronaldinho. But take into account everything in his career. He really isn't. He really isn't. Now you might say, okay, well, how about Hazard? Where's his Champions League and everything? But Hazard reached Hazard has reached a footballing peak where he was one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world for a bit. I don't think Kylian Mbappe has ever been pound for pound best player in the world. I don't ever think so. I don't think he ever has been. And I just think he needs to do more to get the table, and he's been kind of disappointing his club career. Kind of disappointing. So I'm going to put Kylian Mbappe table 2. Oh my God. Here we are. Messi and Cristiano. Now let's just put these guys up here. Oh my gosh. We're here. I didn't realize they're next. Now I said in the beginning of the video, oh, I don't even have my king picked out. Then I forgot these guys were on the list. I do have my king picked out. Now I'm going to reveal my side, my answer to the Messi-Ronaldo debate. Is it Messi? Is it Ronaldo? Who is the king of the wingers? And yes, I'm putting Messi as a winger. I understand Messi you could put in the forward list, which I'm doing in my last video of this series after this. But I just decided to put him on a winger because he played many, many years as a winger. Although Messi has always really played free role, he would play as a winger. Like he would start on the wing, do a lot of great work from the wing. Cristiano is a winger for half his Real Madrid career. At Manchester United, he was a winger, and then he kind of turned into a forward. But I'm putting them both in the winger category. Messi's the king. Messi's the king. I really think this debate right here was never a debate. I think this is the most industry plant debate to ever exist. This was never a debate. In terms of who is the better footballer, Messi is so unbelievably clear of Cristiano. Everything Cristiano can do, Messi can do, maybe besides like a bicycle kick because he's never scored a bicycle kick. But everything Cristiano can do, Lionel Messi can do. And Lionel Messi can do it in a more simple way. Here's the thing. Cristiano needed 360, scissors, roulettes, whatever to beat players. Messi is the greatest dribbler of all time, and all he's ever needed is a body feint. Messi is the master of the basics. He is the master of this game. He has the eagle eye view. He has the best passing I think I've ever seen, the best dribbling I've ever seen. He's the most lethal goal scorer and playmaker I've ever seen. Messi has had just Cristiano and Messi both have had different peaks of their career, but I've always felt that Lionel Messi's peaks have always been better than Cristiano Ronaldo's peaks. Always been better. So obviously, top of table one, it's got to be Cristiano. He is he's like far clear of anyone else that's going to be in table one. And Messi, I think, even if Messi didn't win the World Cup, I'd still put him as the king. But when Messi even won the Copa America and then went on to win a World Cup and then went on to win a third international trophy in a row with Argentina, it's done, bro. He solidified himself as the GOAT of football. And if you're the GOAT of football, you're going to be the GOAT of your own freaking position. Lionel Messi is the king. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's the king of the Champions League. I will admit Cristiano is Mr. Champions League, but taking everything to count, international performances, club performances, longevity and everything, goals and assists in how many games, whatever way you spin it, Messi is just greater than Cristiano. Messi is just greater than Cristiano. So I'm going to put Messi in king and obviously Cristiano table one, top of table one as the number two. Do I need to explain why Cristiano is this high? Like the greatest Portuguese player of all time, Mr. Champions Leagues. What he has 5 Champions Leagues, 4 with Real Madrid, 1 with Manchester United, 5 Champions Leagues, so many clutch moments, scoring in multiple finals, comebacks and hat tricks, and it's just he's Mr. Champions League, but he's not Mr. Football. Lionel Messi is Mr. Football. So Cristiano Ronaldo, top of table one, Lionel Messi is my king. Nani, table 3. I'm going to put Nani at the top of table 3. I feel like this is a player that will be forgotten about in a couple of years, but supreme talent, not supreme talent. He was a great talent. Obviously, he was in the generation where it was Cristiano, Nani, and Quaresma coming up in football. And honestly, I can probably say with a little bit of confidence that Nani actually never fulfilled his potential. I think Nani had more to give in this game, but he just never reached that next level. But even, at his time at Manchester United when Cristiano was there and those guys, he was a brilliant player, like fun to watch. He wasn't just like a basics winger, like he was a flashy winger. Nani was a flashy winger. His football was enjoyable. His football was enjoyable, and when I'm comparing him to all these guys in Waiter, definitely better player than all these guys in Waiter. And when I compare his accomplishments and who he was as a player, in terms of accomplishments, he's kind of on all these guys' level, but accomplishments and who he was as a player, I have to put Nani above all of them in table 3. I don't think I could take that extra level and go to table 2, although he does have the Euros with Portugal. Does Nani go to the bottom of table 2? Okay, I'll put Nani at the bottom of table 2, but I might change that and put him top of table 3 at the end of the video. Yeah, I'm going to put Nani there, bottom of table 2. Nah, you know what? He was never like one of the best wingers in the world, though. So I'm going to put him top of table 3. Neymar, boom, behind Cristiano, above Ronaldinho. I think the greatest footballing talent of all time is Lionel Messi. The second best and greatest footballing talent we've ever seen in the history of football, in my opinion, is Neymar Jr., bro. Now, yes, Neymar Jr. is at Al Hilal collecting a paycheck. Disappointing career after he went to PSG. After those first couple of seasons at PSG, his career has just taken a big dip. But bro, he's the prince that never became king. Neymar right now should be the best player in the world. It shouldn't be Lamine Yamal. It shouldn't be Bellingham, Musiala, all these guys. It should be Neymar. But Neymar did not take his career seriously and take the right steps in his career to be the best player in the world right now. But don't get me mistaken, bro. Neymar is maybe second is like absurd because, Franz Beckenbauer, Maradona, and all these guys existed. But, I think, you can argue that he's the second greatest talent ever in football, bro. Amazing. And even with the downturn he had in PSG after the first couple of years there, he won a treble. He was part of MSN. There was a year where, he was probably the best player in the world, better than Messi even one season in that MSN team at a certain point. Like, unfortunately, he left for PSG because he wanted to be the star of his own team, but I think that was a mistake. I think if Neymar stayed at Barcelona those years with Messi, with Suarez, and continued to play with them, he would have built a legacy and he would have been one of the greats. I respected the move to PSG because he wanted to be the face of his own team, but I just think it was a misguided effort to do that. Like he didn't need to do that. I really think Messi would have gladly played second fiddle to Neymar at a certain point, just like Ronaldinho did with Messi. I'm sure Messi would have been glad to, but I guess Neymar didn't see it and he moved to PSG and it kind of just went downhill from there. Um, for Brazil, I think now that we're seeing Brazil without Neymar the last year or two because of the injuries Neymar's been having, we are starting to see that Neymar was carrying this Brazil team for like 12 years. This garbage Brazil team with garbage players, he was carrying them a lot of times, man. So yeah, Neymar, table one. Is his career officially over? I don't know. Can he return to Europe? I know he can. Is he serious enough to do so? I don't think so. I wish he would and make a big comeback for 2026 World Cup, but I just don't see it, bro. But even that, going off talent and everything and what he already had accomplished anyway, I'm putting him table one. And I'm putting him above Dino. Putting him above Dino. I think Neymar's a better player than Dino. I think Neymar's peak is better than Dino. I think overall Neymar's just a better player than Dino at everything. It is what it is. Pedro, table two, but I'm gonna put Pedro at the bottom of table two. Obviously when he was at Barcelona, he would start at times, but he was always gonna be overshadowed by Messi and all those other dudes and under Pep Guardiola. But yeah, bro, he was a great player in that Barcelona team, and even when he left Barcelona, 2 league titles with Chelsea, man, being an important player in those league titles, like, I think Pedro's kind of underrated at this point. Now, table 2 has, like, a different range. I don't think Pedro is, could ever be up here, but I do think when you take everything into account, the fact that he's still playing right now for Lazio and Serie A, it's a testament to his football IQ, his football ability, how even when he's lost his physical characteristics, he's still able to play in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe at like 40 freaking years old. Yeah, Pedro, I'm gonna go table 2. Perisic, bro. Perisic, table 3. This is a tough one. I think I put Perisic right here between Coman and Douglas Costa. I think a big thing that boosts Perisic is obviously those big tournaments for Croatia in 2 World Cups. Freaking scored in a World Cup final. Don't forget, he scored against France in that World Cup final in 2018. Won the treble with Bayern in 2020. Yes, he was a squad player that year, but he played a big role as a squad player. He really did. He started a decent amount of games for Bayern that season, but every time he would come off the bench for Bayern, he would have an impact. He would make a big impact. And even the Serie A, Perisic had some great seasons in the Serie A. I think Perisic is underrated. I really think Perisic is underrated. I do wish in 2020, because Bayern had the chance to buy Perisic, because he was coming in on loan from Inter. We had the option to buy him. I really wish Bayern had bought him because I feel like he could have gained more and more momentum in that Bayern team and had a bigger and bigger role and had a good 1 or 2 more seasons there that could have elevated his career more. But taking everything into account, actually, I'm going to put Perisic below Douglas Costa, but above Gnabry. Actually, I think I'm gonna go to Gnabry above Carrasco, and I'm gonna go Gnabry above Perisic. I think I'm gonna actually change my order there in table 3. But yeah, Perisic, one of those standout players, one of the starting players in that Croatian golden generation. Pulisic, Champions League winner with Chelsea. I'm really surprised at how Pulisic has been playing at AC Milan this season. He picked up Italian within 6 months. He's mastered Italian within 6 months. I'm really surprised at how well Pulisic has been doing at AC Milan. And this year, with Leao, he's probably actually been AC Milan's best player this season. But I need to see more. Yeah, like Pulisic is 25, bro. He has a lot of time. I think Pulisic can make it to table 3. I do maintain that Pulisic made the move to Europe at way too young of an age, and he kind of lost his way. Yes, he went to Chelsea and won a Champions League, but now I think Pulisic is finally, sinking his feet into a club that he probably feels like he belongs, starting a lot of games. and making a genuine impact for a club as big as AC Milan in the Serie A and in the Champions League. So Pulisic, I'm gonna put him in the waiter category behind Leao, but he does probably behind Insigne and probably, bro, honestly, probably behind Lavezzi. But listen, Pulisic versus Martinelli, I'm taking Pulisic 10 times out of 10. He is a far better player than Gabriel Martinelli, in my opinion. So Pulisic in the waiter category, but he does have potential to get to table 3. Can do a lot of great things with AC Milan if he continues to play, especially the way he's playing. And let's see what he does with the United States in these next couple of years. Quaresma, waiter. Obviously, bro, back then, Quaresma was thought to be more talented than Cristiano. Quaresma was thought to be more talented than Cristiano. The issue is between Cristiano and Quaresma. Well, you know what the issue is? Cristiano probably has the greatest mentality in football history. Quaresma probably has the worst mentality in football history. This was a big difference between these two. Yes, Quaresma, very flashy player, king of the Travella, very dangerous guy, but his career could have been so much greater than it was. But he just didn't work hard enough for it. He didn't make the right career choices on and off the field. And bro, honestly, when I look at Quaresma, if I saw him on the street randomly, I wouldn't, and I didn't know who Quaresma was, I probably wouldn't guess that he was a hard worker. Like he just fits the role, he fits the appearance of someone who just doesn't work hard. But the issue now, I compared him and Ronaldo. He was talented, right? But he wasn't Hazard talented, where Hazard could make the same career decisions on and off the field and still reach a world class level for many years and be one of the best players at a World Cup. So, the talent was decent. I never believed that shit, that Quaresma was as talented, if not more talented than Ronaldo. I didn't believe that whatsoever, but that's kind of like a football hipster take. Oh, you know that Quaresma was actually more highly touted than Cristiano? Don't believe it, bro. Don't believe everything you read and see. Cristiano was always the better player than Quaresma. Quaresma just didn't work hard enough. Like, based on his talent, though, he probably could have been table 2 if he did more on and off the field and gone to big teams and won trophies, but is what it is. Like, I mean, he does have a Euros for Portugal, but that's not enough. He's still a waiter. So yeah, charisma waiter category. Yeah, Marcus Rashford absolutely going into the waiter category. I'm gonna put him behind Quaresma right here with Pulisic because Rashford has had great seasons. He has had great seasons. I just think he stayed at Manchester United way too long. Rashford, I think, is a decent player still. I really think at 27 years old, if he makes the right move to like a PSG or something, he can revive his career. But Marcus Rashford should have left Manchester United in 2020. He should have left when he was 22, 23 years old because Manchester United was a failing project. And I do think Rashford's form and horrible form at that has been a product of the toxic trash environment Manchester United has been for the last 10 years, 12 years. I think it's a product of that. It's not a great environment for someone like Rashford, who definitely is a confidence player, to thrive. So I think Rashford is kind of a victim of himself for not playing good enough, but also a victim of the environment at United. But I do think he has time to revive his career a little bit if he makes the right move away from Manchester United this summer. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, Rashford is going to be waiter. Above Pulisic. I'm gonna put him above Pulisic. My boys, Robin and Ribery. I'm putting Ribery up here. I'm putting Robin right here. I'm gonna put Robin right here. Or do I put Robin right there? Either way, Ribery. As a Bayern fan, I always thought Ribery was the better winger than Robin. I always did think so. I don't know. Ribery was always less injury prone. He was better at taking on his man. down the wing or cutting inside. I feel like the versatility of his goals, he had more versatility of his goals and was a better playmaker than Robin. But the thing with Robin, man, is like the master of one move and no one could ever stop it. You knew what he was going to do and he would do it to you. It's like what you're looking at him in his eyes, you tell him to not do it, you try your hardest to get him to not cut inside and score on his left foot, and he would continue to do it. I think Robin would be up here, but the issue with Robin is this, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Now, you guys, I love Robin. One of my most favorite players of all time. I'm not a self-hating Bayern fan. The issue with Robin, I think a lot of people forget, is the amount of big chances and moments this guy blundered in his career. The Netherlands should be World Cup winners. Spain shouldn't have won that World Cup final. Robin missed. Remember, that save Casillas made. Yes, it was a great save by Casillas in the 2010 final. Robin, if you're more composed, you should be chipping Casillas there. That's a goal any day of the week. Why are you shooting down the middle? Robin had 2 big chances in the World Cup final to make Netherlands World Cup champs for the first time ever in their nation. The 2012 final, Bayern at their home against Chelsea, getting that penalty against Chelsea in added time, in extra time, in overtime. You miss the penalty. Petr Cech makes a save, and it was not a good penalty at that either. 2 huge moments in Robin's career he did not deliver on. The reason why I put Bale above him, now, yes, Robin, his iconic, that picture there where he scores the Champions League winning goal for Bayern in the 2013 final after that performance in the 2012 final at home. I understand. But the reason I have to just put Bale above Robin is the fact that Bale didn't squander those opportunities. Bale delivered in those big moments in comparison to Robin more consistently than him. So I think this is very close right here. Bale and Robin, you're talking about 2 of the greatest right wingers ever. And honestly, Robin is kind of the father of the inside forward. He was kind of the first right winger to really prioritize, no, I want to score goals. I'm not just the guy who's going to take the ball down the wing and cross. Because, dude, Robin used to play on the left. Robin used to play on the left and whip crosses in with his left foot. He moved to the right. He kind of failed at Real Madrid, went to Bayern. He moved to the right, and he became a demon, scoring goals with his left foot for fun. But I think the difference here with Bale and Robin, who I think are both probably same player in terms of level, is that Bale delivered on the bigger moments more than Robin did. And the reason I'm putting Ribery above these two is because I just think Ribery is the more fun winger to watch. I think he's the more talented player than the both of them. And I think at this point, I think Ribery is underrated. The longevity he showed, bro, Ribery was starting for France in the 2006 World Cup, and he was playing at a world-class level until 2019, 2020. Ribery was one of the best wingers in the world from 2006 to 2020. That's insane longevity. His level, just insane. I think Ribery, for me, is a top 5 dribbler of all time. That's how high I rate him. So, yeah, Ribery and Robin obviously are going to be tier 1, though. It is what it is. Saka, I'm going to put him table 3. He needs to leave Arsenal. Saka needs to leave Arsenal. I'm going to say right now, Saka needs to leave Arsenal because I think Saka is not a table 1 talent, but Saka definitely can make it into table 2. He needs to leave Arsenal. He's not going to win trophies at Arsenal. Arsenal is not serious. The team around him is not good enough. It's him and Odegaard only in the attack for Arsenal, and that's not going to be enough. Saka needs to leave. He has shown amazing maturity since the COVID days, Saka, breaking into the Arsenal team and taking this team on his back. Saka is a brilliant brilliant player. But I think Saka will always be stuck at table 3 if he does not make that big move. Saka, screw it. Move to Liverpool after Salah's gone. Screw it. Move to Manchester City. Go to Bayern. Go to Barcelona. Go to Real Madrid. Go to Inter, Juventus, or whatever, whoever. Make that big move to teams who know how to win trophies, to get to Champions League finals, that know how to win Premier Leagues, Bundesligas, La Ligas. Because he's not going to do it at Arsenal. I guarantee you. If Saka stays at Arsenal during his prime years, he'll never make it to table 2. Because I guarantee you Arsenal will not win those trophies to get him in there. So Saka, great player. He is one of the best young players of his generation. Very talented player. But I think just like Liao, I want to see him leave Arsenal. I want to see Saka leave Arsenal. Salah. Okay. I'm looking at this. This is the last guy I could put in table one. No more. No more. And honestly, I'm going to put Salah. Be- Listen, here's the thing. I will always prefer Eden Hazard over Salah as a winger. Now, one played on the left, one played on the right. I understand. I think Salah is, as a winger, from what I want of my wingers, better. No, I mean, from Eden Hazard, better. Like, fun to watch, beating his man, goals and assists. But the thing with Salah is he scores more. He assists more. He's been scoring and assisting more his entire career in the Premier League ever since coming back to the Premier League and playing for Liverpool more than Eden Hazard ever does. And this season now, bro, Mo Salah right now this season for Liverpool in the Premier League, he has been directly involved with goals and assists in, I think, 76% of Liverpool's goals, and it's freaking January. Unbelievable level. Unbelievable level. So Salah is absolutely a table one winger at this point in his career now. And I think, if Eden Hazard had gone to Real Madrid and done what he was supposed to do, he would 100% be right here and potentially be in the conversations right here to be above Robin, Bale, and Ribery. But he didn't. He got fat and he didn't do anything. But if he did, he would 100% be above Salah. But he didn't. And Salah now has shown so much longevity in the Premier League. He has never had a bad season in the Premier League since 2017-18 season. 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 22-23, 23-24, 24-25. His seventh season of being one of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League. He's always been top 3 for 7 years. Ridiculous. The only thing that lets Salah down is for Egypt, he's never shown up in the big games for Egypt. And for Liverpool, he's never shown up in the big games in those finals for Liverpool. He doesn't show up. In those Champions League finals, didn't show up. Yes, I know he scored a penalty against Spurs in that final. That doesn't count. That doesn't freaking count. He's never showed up in those big games. These guys showed up in the big. All these guys showed up in big games. He hasn't. And I think Salah, until he does that, he can't be in this conversation. But even if he does, he can maybe get an edge to the Robin conversation. But I just think he won't. I think he's coming towards the. I don't know if he'll stay at Liverpool much longer either. I think he wants to cash out and go make money in Saudi or something. I don't know, but he's absolutely table 1. Alexis Sanchez, he's gonna go table 3. I'm gonna put him behind Kingsley Coman. No, I'm gonna put him above Kingsley Coman. Alexis Sanchez's career died after he moved to Manchester United. Since his move to Manchester United, I think it was in 2018, dead. Alexis Sanchez irrelevant. But let's talk about Alexis Sanchez from 2010, 2011 to 2017 at Barcelona, for Chile, at Arsenal. Menace. Actually, no, I'm going to put him above in table 3 because, bro, Menace, yes, I know he didn't. He won a league title. He won a league title with Barcelona, bro. He was there for Barcelona. He was there. He won a league title at Barcelona. And yes, he went to the Premier League for Arsenal. Him and Ozil did the thing, but didn't win the Premier League. The reason why I'm putting Alexis Sanchez in the top of table 3 is he was the face of that Chilean golden generation that won back-to-back Copa Americas, beating Messi's Argentina in both finals. Table 3, Alexis Sanchez, right away. Jadon Sancho kind of lost his way in his career so far. He's at Chelsea, and I think Chelsea is the right club for Sancho. Chelsea is the right club for Sancho. Now it's up to him to fight for that starting spot because he hasn't quite secured a starting spot at Chelsea yet. But it's up to him. No, actually, I'm going to put Jadon Sancho right here. It's up to him to establish that starting spot at Chelsea, and then just from there, focus on yourself, focus on Chelsea, and just grow, because I do think he's at the right environment with Chelsea, a young team that's getting better every season in the last 2 years. If he can establish himself there, we will see the levels Jadon Sancho produced at Dortmund for Chelsea. We will see it. It's coming. I see him when he plays for Chelsea this season. The quality is there. He just needs things to fall into place for him and have a little bit of luck on his side and have a run of games for Chelsea, and he'll show it. The reason why I'm putting Jadon Sancho at the top of the waiter category is because people forget this guy was like top 10 player of the world at Dortmund for 2 years. This guy was a top 10 player in the world. Him and Haaland, absolutely insane. Him, Haaland, and Royce, lethal trio. Jadon Sancho has already showed an elite world-class level. He has. Now it's up to him to find that again, establish himself at Chelsea, and if he does and goes on to win trophies with Chelsea, maybe another Champions League or something, or maybe uses Chelsea as a stepping stone back to one of the elite clubs, Jadon Sancho's still relatively young. He could sneak into table 2, but he could definitely get into table 3. But for now, Jadon Sancho will be top of the waiter category. Leroy Sané. I'm going to put Leroy Sané in table 3. I'm going to put him above Perisic, behind Gnabry. Leroy Sané is so frustrating. Now, his career did take a little bit of fall off after the ACL injury in the 2019-20 season with Manchester City. Did take a little bit of a fall off, and it took him a year and a half or so to really recover fully from that ACL injury and get going at Bayern. But the issue with him at Bayern so far has been he shows up for half a season and he disappears for the other half of the season. He usually only has a good half season for Bayern and he doesn't show up. At Bayern, he has not been consistent. But let's put away recency bias. Let's look at Leroy Sané in his Schalke and Manchester City days. Bro, he was one of the best wingers in the world at Manchester City. I thought he was the third best player in that in Manchester City Centurions team in 17-18. I thought he was the third best player. He was absolutely insane. One of the best, most important players for that Manchester City team. Won the PFA Young Player of the Year that year. At Schalke, he was a menace. He had an insane cameo for Schalke against Real Madrid, and I think it was the 2014-15 season. Very talented. His career has taken a little bit of a fall off. Leroy Sané is still only 27. And he's fighting for a contract at Bayern right now. I really think his time at Bayern is done. He wants to stay at Bayern, but I really think he just needs a new environment, maybe back to the Premier League or go to La Liga. I think Sané with the right move this summer away from Bayern, back to the Premier League or La Liga, and you could really see a lot out of him. I really think so. So Sané, I'm putting him in table 3. And talent-wise, Leroy Sané is up here. Table 2. Oh yeah. Leroy Sané is table 2. And if you were to maximize his full potential, Leroy Sané could get up here. Bro, Leroy Sané could get up here to table 1 without a doubt. He just had mentality issues after 2020, on and off form for Bayern since 2020, since he made the move in 2020, 2021. But even at 27, when a lot of Bayern fans are counting him out, thinking he's useless, bro, right now, I have a love-hate relationship with Leroy Sané. Right now, I have a hate relationship with him right now. But I'll get back to love very soon. There is still time. I still have belief. Like some Manchester United fans still have belief, and some English fans still have belief in Marcus Rashford. I still have belief in Leroy Sané. And I think the right move for him, just like Rashford this summer, can be just the thing he needs in his career. Andre Schürrle, table 3. I'm going to put him behind Saka because he never played to the heights of a Saka. But Andre Schürrle, World Cup winner, was in the Germany team. Goals against Brazil. Very underrated at this point. Although he retired a little early, and now Schürrle, he literally go to his Instagram. He literally hikes mountains now. And I think he went to the forest and did a ayahuasca trip. He went and did mushrooms and everything. And he changed his life. I guess he had a life-changing moment. But yeah, Andre Schürrle, table 3, very good player for Chelsea. For Wolfsburg, he was very, very dangerous. For Germany, he was always reliable. A reliable player in the squad to start. And he was always happy to just be off the bench and come make an impact off the bench. And yeah, Schürrle, great player. But yeah, I can't put him any higher in table 3 because he never was Schürrle was never world class, but he was an impactful player. He was an impact. Just ask any Chelsea fan, any Germany fan, any Wolfsburg fan. The guy was serious. Andre Schürrle, table 3. Heung-min Son, I'm gonna put him table 2. I'll put him behind Pedro. I think Son could be up here, between Mahrez, Son, and Mane, if he could just win the Asia Cup with South Korea. Now, the last Asia Cup was a big chance for him. I think Heung-min Son has one more Asia Cup left with him with South Korea. If he could just win that Asia Cup with South Korea, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not holding him to any standard at Spurs. I never expected Son to go to Spurs and win trophies. But he's been one of the best Spurs players. He's definitely a club legend for Spurs ever since he moved there. Has multiple, I think he has 2 Premier League golden boots. He has a Premier League goal this season. He's been a menace in the Premier League ever since he moved there from Leverkusen, I think it was back then. Heung-min Son has been, I think at this point he's underrated because a lot of people, now that he's lost a little bit of pace, have been overcritical of him. But I think Son is, I think he's the second greatest Asian player of all time. If he could just win that Asia Cup for South Korea in the next edition of the Asia Cup, which I think will be his last, he might go up to here behind Sadio Mane, above Pedro. But yeah, Heung-min Son definitely table 2. Raheem Sterling, table 2. I understand Raheem Sterling. You could literally pinpoint 2020, August of 20, or was it? Yeah, it was early August of 2020. You could pinpoint the day Raheem Sterling's career took a sharp dip downwards when he missed that open goal against Lyon in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The COVID season when we were playing the quarterfinals in August after the big break. The open goal miss against Lyon took away a bunch of his confidence. And ever since then, since 2020, Raheem Sterling has been an on and off player, good form, bad form, honestly having more spells of bad form than good form. But bro, Raheem Sterling before 2020, one of the best wingers in the world, probably in contention with Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah and Van Dijk as being the best player in the Premier League, one of the most important players for Pep Guardiola's City. From 2017 to 2019, the amount of goals and assists he was getting for Manchester City when they went on to win those league titles is absolutely insane. Raheem Sterling definitely hit his peak. I think he did fulfill his potential. Raheem Sterling did hit his peak, which is good to see. The issue is the fall off he's had the last 4 to 5 years. Pretty crazy. But he's always been a talented player, even in the days when he was at Liverpool, made the move to Man City. Took him a little bit to get settled, but once Pep figured out Raheem Sterling, we saw an absolute menace. I think the only reason I'm gonna I have to put him above Son because he won those trophies and he was very pivotal. Very, very pivotal to Manchester City winning those Premier League titles. So I'm gonna put him actually above Son in table 2. Vinny Jr., table 2 right now. But he's right here. He is not at a point where he's above Mane, above Mahrez, Beckham, Di Maria, Mbappe. No, Vinny Jr. is right here. The big thing with Vinny Jr., I think I would put Vinny Jr. actually up here around like Mbappe, Di Maria level. The reason why he's behind Mane is that he is so unbelievably dog shit for Brazil. He is so unbelievably dog shit for Brazil. I don't get it. He's so bad for Brazil. I can't put him any higher in table 2 above Mane, Mahrez, even Beckham, Di Maria, and Mbappe. All these guys that have performed for their nations. Bro, I cannot name you one world-class performance for Vinny Jr. at a major tournament for Brazil. At the last World Cup for Brazil and at this last Copa America, I cannot name you a world-class performance, even a great performance. So Vinny Jr. needs to sort his Brazil career out. Because, bro, he already has 2 Champions Leagues. And if he's going to stay at Real Madrid for many more years to come, he's going to win like 2 or 3 more Champions Leagues. But if Vinny Jr. doesn't win anything for Brazil, he will have to go right here, probably he will probably be table 1, but he won't be any higher. He won't be up here. He will be down here with Salah and Hazard. But he needs to figure out his Brazil form and win something for Brazil to get to this level of table 1. He could, without winning anything for Brazil, he could get down here. But if he doesn't, it's just a huge stain on his legacy. You know, if you're a big Brazilian player, a guy for Brazil, you need to win something for Brazil. You need to. So I don't know. Vinny Jr., we'll have to wait and see, but right now he's table 2. Theo Walcott, waiter. I never really rated with Theo Walcott, bro. Honestly, I'll kind of put him right here behind Rashford above Pulisic, but yeah, I just never waited. Walcott. Willian was decent. At his best, you know, Premier League winner with Chelsea. I think he won the Premier League with Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just never really rated Willian that highly. I thought Insigne was better than him. I think him and Lavezzi are like similar level. And then Lamine Yamal, I think at the end of this kid's career, bro, last player of the list, he's gonna be up here. He's already won something for Spain. If he doesn't get injured and he continues to get better, the kid is freaking 17. He's gonna win Champions Leagues for Barcelona. He's gonna go down as a legend. And bro, he can win a World Cup for Spain if he's gonna be the main guy. I could see Spain winning a World Cup with him being the main guy there. Lamine Yamal might be up here, bro. At the end of his career, Lamine Yamal will be with Ronaldo, Neymar, and Dino Ribery. He will be up here. Maybe up here. We have to see. Lamine Yamal can only get above Cristiano and Lionel Messi if he somehow becomes either Mr. Champions League to get over Ronaldo, or if he has the consistency of elite performances for 15 years plus like Messi or Cristiano did. But right now, Lamine Yamal, bro, he's top of table 3. Because we have to relax. He's only been here like a year and a half. Right now, he's top of table 3. But bro, I'm scared. Lamine Yamal could be up here at the end of his career. And if he has the longevity of Messi, he might challenge. That's all I'm gonna say. He might challenge. You don't know. I don't want to jinx him. I don't want to jinx this, you guys. You guys, it's been an hour, 21 minutes, 40 winger tier list. This time I'm ranking all the best wingers I've seen in the 21st century. Basically, all the best wingers I've seen in my lifetime of watching football. 40 guys ranked. Messi's the king. That's how table 1 is. Table 2, table 3, and waiter. My voice has been going a couple times in the video, if you could tell. 11:38, bro. I gotta go to sleep. Big day at work tomorrow. I gotta get that work done, make that money. If you guys enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe if you're new. I'm gonna be posting this video probably tomorrow because I can't wait for this video to process tonight and then post, but maybe I will. Maybe as I wait to go to sleep, I will. But yeah, like, subscribe, and yeah, tune in the next 1 or 2 days. I'm going to have the last video of this kind of series I've done the last 2 or 3 weeks out, the strikers/forwards list, and it's going to be more than this. Today we did 40 players. The strikers and forwards list is going to be 50 players ranked in a tier list on the fly. Stay tuned for that. It's been your boy Hokage Puya. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.